In the far reaches of the Arctic Circle, where the sun barely rises in winter and the wind carves ghostly shapes across endless fields of white, survival is a daily act of courage and tradition. Here, on the drifting ice sheets of the Chukchi and Bering Seas, a centuries-old drama unfolds. Every year, an estimated 200,000 Pacific walruses, Odobinus rosmarus divergens, migrate along these frozen coasts. Adult males can weigh between 1,200 and 1,900 kilograms, 2,600 to say 4,200 pounds, and stretch over 3.5 meters, 11 feet in length. Females are smaller but still massive, often exceeding 800 kilograms, 1,700 pounds. Their ivory tusks, sometimes over 90 centimeters, 3 feet long, are both weapon and tool. For indigenous Arctic communities, Yupik, Inuit and Chukchi, these animals are not just wildlife, they are lifelines. According to the Alaska Department of Fish and Game, walrus meat and blubber can supply more than 2 million kilocalories per animal, enough to feed a family of 5 for nearly half a year. This is no sport hunt. It is an intense, bloody and highly coordinated operation carried out with deep respect and ancestral knowledge. Before dawn, wooden sleds creak under the pale northern lights. Hunters sharpen their harpoons and oil their rifles, checking ropes as old as family heritage. Women and children wait in quiet anticipation, knowing that the outcome of the hunt will shape the community's survival through the long, unforgiving winter. Join us now on this extraordinary expedition. Witness every gripping moment of giant walrus hunting and butchering. Full bloody journey on the ice sea. When spring and early summer return brief windows of light, walruses migrate along the Arctic coast, gathering in herds on ice floes and deserted gravel beaches. Satellite tracking shows that some males travel over 3,000 kilometers, 1,800 miles. Annually from the Bering Sea to the Chukchi Sea, hunters carefully watch the skies and the tides. They read subtle signs, the echo of distant calls, the pattern of cracks in the ice and the shifting direction of the wind. The preparation is meticulous. Heavy fur-lined parkas are layered over waterproof anoraks to withstand wind chills that can drop to 40 degrees Celsius. Hunters pack harpoons tipped with iron and tied to sealskin ropes, powerful .30 caliber rifles for a clean shot, and long-handled knives with blades honed to a razor's edge. Every tool has a history. Many harpoons are family heirlooms, passed from grandfather to grandson, each scar on the wood telling a story of past hunts. Ropes are braided from walrus hide rawhide for unmatched strength, capable of holding more than 1.5 tons of force, enough to restrain a charging walrus. Small motorized canoes and traditional wooden umiaks are dragged to the ice edge and secured with anchors cut into the frozen crust. The crew reviews safety drills. In Arctic waters barely above 1.8 degrees to 28 degrees, a single mistake, like a sudden crack in the ice, can mean death in under 10 minutes. Before departure, an elder often offers a quiet prayer, asking the sea and the spirits of the animals for protection and forgiveness. Only what is needed will be taken. Waste is forbidden. This spiritual covenant is as binding as any law. With supplies checked, rifles loaded and harpoons set, the hunters push off into a vast, silent world of floating ice and low clouds. The hunt begins. The Arctic Ocean in early morning is a cathedral of ice and mist. The low hum of the outboard engine echoes across frozen silence as hunters scan the horizon with binoculars. Then, a signal. A cluster of dark brown shapes sprawled across an ice floe half a mile away. Through the lens, the giant silhouettes become clear. A herd of walruses, some weighing over 1.5 metric tons, their ivory tusks gleaming against the blue-gray ice. Strategy is everything. Walruses are social and quick to panic. A single alarmed bellow can send dozens plunging into the water, where their size and power make them nearly impossible to pursue. A frightened herd can stampede at 20-25 kilometers per hour, 12 and 50 mph, easily crushing ice or overturning small boats. The hunters cut the motor and paddle silently, using the ebbing current to drift closer. Breath steams in the cold air. At a signal, everyone freezes. Only the crunch of distant ice and the occasional exhale of a walrus breaks the silence. The lead hunter studies the herd. He chooses a mature male, large, well-fed, and separate enough to target without triggering chaos. He steadies the rifle. The shot cracks across the ice. The walrus bellows, thrashes, and slides toward the edge. Instantly, the team launches into action. Harpoons fly, embedding deep. Ropes tighten as men lean back, anchoring the massive creature to the ice. The walrus fights with astonishing strength, but the combined pull of several hunters and a second well-placed shot bring it down. What follows is brief but brutal. The animal's struggles cease and silence returns, broken only by the hunter's heavy breathing and the low creak of the ice. A quiet moment of respect is observed. The elder offers a few words of gratitude. The life taken will feed many lives. The real work, messy, bloody, and essential, now begins. The hunters haul the giant body fully onto the ice using wooden poles and ropes. Its immense bulk dwarfs the men, a living mountain of muscle, blubber, and bone. A mature male walrus contains up to 600 kilograms, 1,300 pounds of meat, and over 250 kilograms, 550 pounds, of blubber. Long knives, some over 60 centimeters, 2 feet in length, slice through the thick hide with practiced precision. The first cuts run lengthwise from head to tail, opening the walrus's tough skin to reveal brilliant layers of deep red muscle and gleaming white fat. Steam rises in the frigid air, carrying the rich metallic scent of fresh blood. Thick slabs of skin and blubber are peeled back. This blubber, sometimes 15 centimeters, 6 inches thick, is a prize of its own. Rich in omega-3 oils and calories, nearly 9,000 kilocalories per kilogram, it will be rendered into lamp fuel, cooking fat, or stored as emergency food for the -40-degree nights ahead. Next comes the meat, dense, dark and iron-rich, providing about 22% protein and 10% fat per serving. Each section is methodically separated into manageable blocks. Some cuts are reserved for immediate cooking, others carefully packed to be dried, smoked or buried in ice cellars for months of preservation. Every move is efficient, nothing is wasted. The hunters also harvest the tusks, which can reach 10 kilograms, 22 pounds each. These ivory arcs are not trophies. They are raw material for carving tools, crafting art, or trading for vital supplies. Bones are set aside too. Massive shoulder blades may become sled runners. Smaller bones are fashioned into knives, fishing hooks, or even structural supports for houses. Strong sinews are stripped and dried into threads tougher than nylon, perfect for sewing or bowstrings. Blood pools on the ice, staining it a vivid crimson against the endless white. The scene is stark, some would call it brutal, but here it is life itself. Every cut, every drop of sweat speaks of survival. By the end of the butchering, the walrus that once ruled the ice has been transformed into 100 different gifts: meat to feed families, oil to light homes, tools to hunt again, and art to preserve memory. Nothing is discarded. Everything has a purpose. Once the immediate butchering is done, the focus shifts to preservation. Arctic families have refined natural cold storage methods over millennia. Large pits are dug deep into the permafrost and lined with flat stones. Blocks of meat are stacked carefully, each layer separated by snow or dried grasses, then sealed with thick slabs of ice. These ice cellars, called sigluak in some Inuit languages, can keep meat safe for 8 to 12 months without spoilage. Other portions are sliced thin and hung on wooden racks to freeze dry in the constant cold wind, where average temperatures remain below 10 degrees, 14 degrees Celsius, even in spring. Women and children join in, carefully turning pieces to ensure even drying. Some fat is boiled and rendered into pure oil, stored in sealskin bags that can supply lamps and kitchens for the entire 6-month polar night. Back in the village, the harvest is shared according to tradition. Every household receives a portion, from the elders who can no longer hunt to the youngest families with new children. This is more than food distribution. It is a reaffirmation of communal bonds. During evening feasts, steaming walrus stew simmers over driftwood fires. A single animal can provide over 5,000 individual meals, enough to sustain dozens of people through the harshest storms. Stories of the hunt are told and retold, of the moment the harpoon struck true, of ancestors who faced the same icy seas. The smell of rich meat fills the air, as laughter mixes with the howl of the Arctic wind outside. Beyond nourishment and tools, walrus hunting is a profound cultural and spiritual act. Indigenous Arctic peoples believe that the walrus offers itself willingly when hunters show proper respect. Before and after each hunt, songs of thanks and prayers are offered to honor the animal's spirit and ensure future abundance. These customs are strict. No part of the animal may be wasted. Even the smallest scraps of meat are boiled into broth or fed to sled dogs. Children are taught from an early age to handle every piece with reverence, learning that survival depends on harmony with nature, not domination. Modern pressures, climate change, industrial shipping, and legal restrictions have made these hunts more challenging. According to the US Fish and Wildlife Service, Arctic sea ice is declining at a rate of over 12% per decade, shrinking walrus resting grounds and making hunts riskier. Yet in remote communities across Alaska, Canada, Greenland, and Siberia, the tradition endures. For many families, it is still the backbone of food security and identity. A successful walrus hunt is more than a practical victory. It is a celebration of heritage. Each tusk carving, each meal of blubber-rich soup carries the memory of ancestors who survived when survival seemed impossible. As night falls over the ice sea, the hunters' sleds return to the village, heavy with the gifts of the hunt. Children run to meet them, their laughter rising like smoke into the cold Arctic air. The elders smile in quiet relief. Another winter can be faced with confidence. From the first silent approach across drifting ice to the last cut of the blade, the giant walrus hunt is both a brutal and beautiful testament to human resilience. It is a story written in blood and snow, in the deep bond between people and the frozen world that sustains them. For outsiders, the scene can seem harsh: the red-stained ice, the massive carcass, the long hours of slicing and hauling. But within Arctic communities, this is life itself, a practice of respect, gratitude, and interdependence that has endured for thousands of years. Every tusk carved into a tool, every drop of oil that lights a winter lamp, every meal shared in the dark months is a reminder of the covenant between humans and nature. As global warming threatens ice flows and shifts walrus migrations, the future of these traditions faces uncertainty. Yet the lessons remain powerful. Take only what you need, honor every gift, and live in balance with the world around you. This is the full, unflinching, bloody journey on the ice sea, where courage meets necessity, and where an ancient way of life still beats strong beneath the Arctic sky.